Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Android App Arena is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This is Android App Arena episode 128 for Wednesday, December 14th, 2016. Your apps. This episode of Android App Arena is brought to you by Automatic, the small adapter that turns your clunker into a smarter connected car. For more information on their brand new Automatic Pro adapter, visit automatic.com/twit and enter the limited time offer code TWIT20 for $20 off the new device. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Android App Arena. I'm your host, Jason Howell. It's almost the end of 2016, and you have sent me so many terrific apps. Some of you send me your suggestions, apps that I need to take the time to check out because they happen to be some of your favorites. Others, and I'll admit, most of the emails I get are apps that you have developed yourself. So it's high time that we take a look at a few of those apps that I've received from you in this week's roundup of your apps. Many would argue that there really is no perfect in-dash app for Android. Many offer to do this or to do that, but as with everything in this world, nothing is perfect and solves all problems. So how about giving the user the ability to customize that experience top to bottom? Byung-Hoon Cho submitted the app called Huddle to do just that. Here is the main layout screen. It's currently empty, obviously. I'll go ahead and tap the plus to get going here and name my new layout. Now, it's in landscape mode, and I'm given a workspace with which to construct my ideal HUD. I simply tap to add a module, and then I pick from the lengthy scrolling list to drop those into my workspace. Let's go ahead and grab the clock, first of all. I have this tab down here to resize it, and I can place it anywhere on the grid that I want. Let's add another module, and I don't know, let's throw a bunch of these into the layout, but as a sense for what's offered, there's miles per hour, navigation, distance, navigation ETA, battery percentage, altimeter, speedometer, average trip speed. That's just to name a few. There's much more in there. Huddle works in tandem with the Google Maps app running in the background while navigating. So once it's all set, you just jump into HUD mode, and now you can see how everything is mirrored backwards. That's because the phone is meant to sit on your dashboard so the reflection of your screen is shown in the window from your driver's seat. Pretty neat. Huddle is free with ads, and you can remove those ads for $1.49 from inside the app. Find it now in the Play Store. There is no shortage of task and to-do apps. Even Randy, the developer of MemoryG, admits it's a tough market to crack, but MemoryG is worth a closer look, I think. Let's first create a task to call my parents for the holidays, as an example. I'll choose the date and time to do that with this picker, and I have separate controls for when that task happens and when I'll be reminded of that task ahead of time, kind of like an alarm setting option. I'll also set this to repeat every year because this happens every year. I need to know. That icon below can be changed to accommodate any task that I have specifically. So let's go ahead and pick the gift icon. I'll pick a nice green color to identify the task with. And adding a location is an expanded feature, so it's grayed out here. I'll get to that in a second. But once I'm done, I just tap the check mark and it's saved and in my list for my next task. I can simply tap and hold the fab to enter in a quick task if I want to drop it in and just move along. That's one quick way to do it. Now let's tap into one of those tasks that I've created. And here I can manage my action by swiping left to snooze it. I can swipe right to consider it totally done. Or if I swipe down, that's going to delete it. But you see there's a hamburger menu. Let's go ahead and tap that. These are task categories that I can add or reassign my tasks to for better tracking and management. I can also switch up my view with these buttons up here. The default is the list that we've been seeing here, but there's also a day view and a 3-day view for seeing more in one screen. MemoryG has a visual clarity to it that I really like. MemoryG has a plus account for $3.99. That actually gives access to cloud features, also priority support, expanded theming, and unlimited tasks and lists. For premium features, there's a recurring fee starting at $1 per month that's required, and that includes features around those location-based reminders that I mentioned earlier, and weather, floating actions, and even more themes. Find MemoryG in the Play Store right now. Sometimes you send me the apps you've made, and other times you send me the apps you love. Bob shared the shopping list app called Cinnamon, saying it's well written and works great when you're at the grocery store. So let's create a shopping list. We do that by tapping the fab, first of all. And I'll go ahead and throw in a few items that I need. We're going to be making an amazing Italian sausage orecchiette with broccoli rabe today. So let's throw all those ingredients in there. And I'm going to also add in some milk, some eggs, and half, and I can put that actually into a bundle by tap holding those items and then this button. Those are weekly staples. So in the future, I just add that bundle, and that's going to save me time. Also, as you can see, some items are recognized from different areas of the store, different departments, and they're sorted as such. In this case, eggs, cheese, and milk in the list are already quoted to be in the refrigerated and frozen section, which can make the trip even easier while I'm at the grocery store. I can categorize any item manually. All I have to do is tap into the item and adjust accordingly. I can also enter in pertinent information on, let's say, item cost that might help me out in the future, and a bunch of other details. Now, let's say I'm at the store. I simply find the item on the shelf in real life, and once it's in my actual shopping cart, I swipe that item to the right, and it's thrown into the cart section within the app. Swiping from there actually throws them into my pantry at home. So when I get home, I can swipe them, and now they're in my pantry. Meaning if I use them and swipe them from the pantry list, they end up back in my main list so that I can restock them for the next time. I can even get my lists on my Android Wear device. Cinnamon is free with advanced features like account sync, available in the premium version for $2.99 from within the app. Find Cinnamon in the Play Store now. One thing is certain, you are super talented, so keep your apps coming. I'd love to feature them in a future episode, and I need your help. Arena@twit.tv. I'll add them to my huge list, my huge and growing list for an upcoming episode featuring your apps, and we'll check in on that another time. All right, before we move on, let's thank the sponsor of today's episode, and that is Automatic. It's a small adapter that turns your clunker, if you have a clunker, into a smarter, connected car. Automatic has launched the Automatic Pro, their new unlimited 3G car adapter with no monthly fees or subscriptions. Always There 3G is actually going to let you know where your vehicle is parked at any time. Also lets you track your vehicle even when you're not with it. It works with If This Then That. That allows for endless customization, connecting your car to the rest of your life. You can easily file business expenses with popular apps like Concur and Expensify, for example. You can even link your car to a Nest thermostat or Amazon Echo. So you can kind of imagine the scenario, Alexa, where did I park my car? And it will tell you. You can actually do that. Get human help in a crash. Automatic Pro detects severe accidents, and trained responders will call for help when you can't. Automatic works on nearly every car made after 1996. It just takes minutes to connect your car to your iPhone or your Android device via Bluetooth. Plus, it even integrates with Apple Watch and with Pebble. And like I said, it's super simple to plug in. It was kind of an eye-opening experience to plug it in and see how much all of those little trips around town actually cost in terms of gas and pricing. Very eye-opening. Automatic Pro is normally $129.95, but when you use our exclusive code TWIT20, you'll save $20. Visit automatic.com/twit for more information, and remember to use offer code TWIT20 to save $20. All right, up next, it's news and it's chat. Sort of. It's this week's big app. Let's face it. If you really want to stay up to date on all the important news these days, you could literally read until your eyes bleed and you'd be nowhere near finished. Quartz is hoping to help you read just the really important stuff. Rather, the important stuff according to Quartz. Their app rolled out for Android this week after hitting iOS back in February, and it's a fresh take on news consumption apps for mobile. It was designed with mobile in mind, and as such, as you can see, it resembles a messaging conversation more than, let's say, a website or a representation of a website. Here's the main feed where I'm going to go ahead and have a chat with the Quartz bot about stories that I might want to read. Throughout this conversation, I'm giving a short bit of information on a number of stories that I might want to read more about. If I'm interested, I can imply that I want more, or I can, pass if it's disinteresting to me. Stories also tie into Giphy for appropriate animated GIFs that match the context of the conversation, if that's super important to you. In other words, it feels like a chat with a really smart, news-oriented friend. A limited amount of information is given as you dig deeper, and if you really want even more than that, the story that you see is actually tappable with the source listed below that bubble. That takes you through to the full article to read more comprehensively. And no, you don't only get links to Quartz articles. This reaches out beyond just that. You can tweak notification settings if, like your chat clients, you want to be notified when the news bot has something important for you. I'll admit I really went into this expecting to roll my eyes heavily, but in the end, I appreciate its fresh take on delivery, and I'll keep it installed for those times when I'm not ready to commit to reading an entire website in one sitting. Find the Quartz app for free in the Play Store. A fresh take on something so many have tackled. All I have to say is don't knock it until you've tried it. It really won me over, and it's not going anywhere on my phone. I'm going to be using that. Send me your favorite apps and categories to arena@twit.tv. You can also post those to the subreddit, androidapparena.reddit.com. And the recorded show, we do this every week. It plays every Wednesday around 5 p.m. Pacific, following Tech News Today at twit.tv/live. And new episodes will appear later that evening in the feeds and on the show page at twit.tv/arena. All right, that's it, folks. Thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Jason Howell, and I will see you next week in the arena.